that you love me. Fool me, oh how you need me. Love me, say that you love me.
Logan, 2017.
That's a good intro.
First review of 2017.
Not true.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I was just saying not true, even though I...
Okay, I was actually confused. I was like, maybe it isn't true.
No, I'm like...
No, yeah, I just realized this is our... Well, I mean, it's March, so nothing else would have come out for us to review so far.
No, nothing really.
Logan, this is the new X-Men film, technically. Not technically.
I guess if you want to say that, you could, but
the sequel's coming out later this year. Logan Lucky.
Yeah, Logan Lucky. I can't wait for that one.
Daniel Craig.
But Logan is it was labeled as Hugh Jackman's last X-Men film, Wolverine film, but people are saying supposedly, and I'm like, no, I'm almost certain it is.
And no, he won't come back. If he does,
then
everyone was almost certain that it was, but Hugh Jackman's like, well, you know, if they want me to be in Avengers, I'll be in Avengers.
And he won't.
And then they asked Sir Patrick
Stewart. Is
Stewart.
he British now?
Yeah, and was supposed to be Australian. And they asked Sir Patrick Stewart, and he said something that he might come back, maybe. Yep. And then I was like, oh, so
as long as he mind controls,
what was the point?
No point.
What was the point of you guys saying that you weren't ever coming back?
Well, it's also because time travel.
Time travel also exists.
Well, here's the beautiful thing too, is because I mean, technically, Wolverine's also not even Wolverine in the Deadpool universe.
Yeah, right? Isn't he? Something weird.
Because he's just normal Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I love you, Fox X-Men, with your great continuity.
They have a crazy movie franchise.
They got some crazy ass people over there.
Mm-hmm.
I do like how this film was like, oh, let's just reference as much as we can.
But if anything, so let's start from the beginning of Logan. From the first minute.
He beat the crap out of some Hispanics.
Not even that. The first minute of the film is a Deadpool teaser trailer, kind of
slapped onto the actual runtime of the film,
which is
it's a part of the actual runtime.
So
I thought it was part of the movie at the very beginning. I'm like, this is very weird.
Well, you see him walking, but I thought in my mind I was like, there weren't. It just ran to the movie. There weren't any like logos or credits or anything. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then you hear the "Just Call Me,"
not in the YouTube version,
which is not in the YouTube version, which is strange.
A lot of the stuff is.
Have you seen the clip they released on YouTube?
The YouTube version actually has the Stan Lee.
It has the Stan Lee cameo.
It's different. It's just a different film.
It's almost completely different. And
yeah, you're right because it's.
And then you see it's Deadpool, and in my mind I was like, weird way to start a film when I thought it was the start of the film.
I thought they were gonna kill him.
With Deadpool?
Yeah, I thought that was how they're going to start the film.
That'd be kind of cool.
It's dark, and also it's because Deadpool's just better than Wolverine, like, when it comes to healing and stuff.
Yeah.
And if he was going to, like, visit him in this film, or if he's going to be in this film, what a better way to start your dark and gritty superhero film.
Than by having someone who's more powerful.
And then maybe at the end of the credits, have him, like, come back, he's like,
I'm kidding, Deadpool 2 2018. That's how Deadpool.
Hi guys, it's me, Deadpool. I'm in line to see Logan in this weird area that shouldn't have a movie theater, but it's me, Deadpool. I'm gonna moon you guys while I'm chanting a telephone booth. Ever see Batman vs Superman? He didn't do that because it's me, Deadpool. That's what I think any Deadpool fan says when they're in the Deadpool costume.
But
it's me, Deadpool.
That's your impression of Deadpool fans?
That's
around the world.
Pretty spot on.
All right.
Yeah.
However, so that's a very weird start to the movie because I mean it was cool. I like Deadpool, I guess.
It was cool. It didn't belong.
But yeah, weirdly out of place.
Would have preferred at the end of the credits when I was sad and I would have liked a little bit of a pick me up.
I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have picked me up at the end of the credits.
I would have been like, why? I would have been like, why are you teasing me? Just give me a teaser for you. Wait, so what's the?
What?
At the end of X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
XX Corp.
Oh yeah, there's no point.
Wasn't that supposed to be a teaser for this?
It was supposed to. Oh boy. So everyone thought that's Mr. Senator.
It was
Mr. Senator. It's supposed to be Mr. Senator Sinister. Mr. Sinister for this film. No,
it's Mr. Senator.
It's supposed to be Mr. Sinister,
the main villain of the Fox franchise.
They made a big point where like, oh well, Mr. Sinister maybe is coming, but like we're not sure really. We're just that was mainly just to be like we have the DNA when we clone him, and I think that creepy guy who had it is either his dad or when his dad was one of the cronies who died of the real main villain of the film, which is the weird government guy, and not the really cool, really charismatic, really awesome Donald Pierce.
Yeah,
who they ruined. Yeah, I feel like
because he shows up in the first couple minutes of the film.
I was like, oh, I'm already on board.
I was like, yeah, baby.
He's got that weird southern charm that I'm like, I'm already on board with
that. Like, at the end of the conversation, he's like, by the way, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
And then he just sets out of the car and I'm like, I'm gonna like this guy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you know what? Screw you.
Because he's got that. Yeah, no.
So
doesn't even have the best shot.
The best shot in anything. He does the glasses shot.
I really like this movie. The villain takes it down a couple notches.
There is no villain really.
Yeah. I thought that
they were like, it's Donald.
You're saying Donald Pierce villain takes it down?
They were like,
he's
not the villain.
He wasn't. I mean, he was kind of marketed as the villain, but he wasn't anything as like what I thought he was gonna be.
Yeah.
He wasn't. That was about as close as the villain.
The film doesn't follow the comics, and
I didn't expect it to.
Yeah.
No one does anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, we have to.
But Donald Pierce is awesome.
I mean, would you rather it like ruin the comic book or just kind of be its own thing?
Why would
I'd rather it be its own good thing.
If it was adapting its comic book, why would it be ruining it?
Nah, fair enough.
I mean, we don't know what it would have been like because it doesn't make the effort to adapt it.
Well, think about Age of Ultron. Would you rather that have just been called something else, or?
I'd rather have been good.
Oh yeah. Like well, that's the thing though is you either go for an adaptation or you don't go for an adaptation. Yeah. And I just
which we brought up in a BVS thing, and is that what's his name? Nolan. What he brought up is that they do the smart thing is that they don't
title their movies
off the comic titles.
Yeah. Even though
Superman didn't do that either.
Yeah.
But Civil War did.
Exactly, Civil War did. That's where it faltered. Age of Ultron did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And this one kind of didn't. It just called itself Logan because they're like, maybe we shouldn't call it Old Man Logan.
He wasn't really an old man. He was just kind of like maybe 50.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Old Man Logan. He's like.
He was just like midlife crisis Logan.
But what you were bringing up in the beginning of the review with where he like just chops up the Mexicans like in the first couple of seconds.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, well, one big thing,
the film feels post-apocalyptic and it kind of hints at it, but then it's also like, could it? It isn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like
Not even that. It's like when it was announced that it was gonna have an R rating, everyone's like, "Oh, this is just a reaction to how Deadpool's success."
Wasn't.
However, it would obviously fit since it's Wolverine. R rating would fit, but with this one, I just feel like it could have been R with just the gore on its own, but they're like, you know what? Let's just add a ton of F-bombs and let's throw some boobs in there for no reason.
Hey! I was pleasantly pleased with that.
I know, but it's like
no dong though.
No dong.
Kind of took me off.
Right?
Deadpool gave
me.
We
got the Deadpool butt, so that's.
Oh yeah, that was
get
part of the R
butt.
rating. That's probably why they had to slam it onto the actual film's runtime, so it didn't have to go through the MPAA. Thank you.
But they could have done like they did with the other trailer and approved it for the R rating.
For Red Band? No, because it was already too long for a trailer.
Oh, is it?
They have to pay for marketing.
It's like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
And that's the cut down version we saw in the movie. Well, there's a lot of things I got confused with this film because it was very coy and doesn't really tell you much.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I kind of like that.
I kind of like that too. But I would have preferred to be knowing something, but like it kind of just like jumps into some weird world that we're not familiar with.
Well, because I mean, it's I think a year or 2 years after Days of Future's Past, happy ending.
This was what
2029.
29.
Days of Future's Past happy ending is such a sweet happy ending because it's like
they should as stupid as it would be, they should just make Days of Future Past take place at the very end, no matter what they release at this point.
Yeah. Well, supposedly this doesn't take place in the same timeline.
So yeah, right. It doesn't.
It's like a what if of if.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So how many Fox timelines are there for X-Men?
Technically only one.
Does X-Men Origins Wolverine fit into the same timeline as Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're together. X-Men Origins Wolverine is in the... Okay. So, I don't know.
He just gave up.
I don't know.
I don't really know, really.
But, yeah, so, it's good, yeah. The film opens kind of well, but the problem is, like, he goes in between the border and, like, the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And there's, like, a bunch of people, like, trying to get in, and, like, oh, is it, like, a really weirdly isolated future that maybe is post-Trump? But it doesn't answer that. It just is kind of like, yeah, life sucks.
Life sucks, and you don't know why.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to tell you.
Yeah, it's a little... Everyone's sad in this movie, which doesn't quite make sense. The only people that are happy are those...
in the casino.
Or the bachelorettes in his limo.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I did like? Stephen Merchant is Catwoman.
Yeah, attaboy, Steve.
Attaboy.
I'm glad for you, bud.
But,
I'm glad they didn't get that creep guy from Apocalypse as Caliban again.
That was weird, yeah. I'm glad they're like, hey, you want to hire an actor? And they're like, yeah, sure, let's do that.
Someone funny, someone cool.
Charismatic.
Yeah, someone we like.
Mm-hmm.
He was good in it too, even though he wasn't in a lot.
Yeah.
He was in it for a perfect
I would have preferred it would have made...
If it was just him in the entire film. Just Stephen Merchant and Ricky Gervais as Wolverine.
But,
a perfect world.
Well, because when he goes out
Carl
there...
Pilkington as Professor X.
Damn it, that's where I thought you were going to go.
When they were going to go... When he went to throw out, Donald...
Yeah.
And he woke up... and I thought he was gonna kill Caliban right there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, good, they did it off screen. I would have been sad if they had killed him on screen.
No,
and they're like, you know what? No, we're gonna have a torture scene. And I was like, no, Steven, please.
Leave him alone.
That torture scene only hurt just because it was Stephen Merchant.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
Because I like him as an actor and as a person. But no, yeah. The whole opening is pretty strong. I do like how they explain how the government messed with the food to stop mutation.
Yeah.
Which I was like, thank you. That's an answer I'd like to know, because it's like, how can you just say there's no more mutants?
Yeah, that was pretty
I like that.
It was funny because at one point,
they explained a lot in this movie that I didn't expect them to, but also it's a very vague movie, so it's a little bit hard to kind of try to
piece things together on your own.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's one, well, because obviously, it's mostly about, like, introducing X-23.
Yeah.
And when they do introduce her, I don't know much about X-23, so I turn to Renick. Yet she's, in the film, she's of Hispanic descent.
No. Her name is Laura Kinney.
And I turned to Renick,
daughter
and I was like...
Jeff Kinney.
And I was like, is she Hispanic in the comics? And Renick's like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
No. I think the only reason they did that is just because...
Because she's Hispanic in real life.
They didn't want her to speak... probably for like a lot of it,
and she
just
doesn't,
so they could have more Patrick Stewart talking instead of both of them.
Which
Patrick Stewart speaks Spanish in this film.
She only hey when you
and he speaks Taco Bell in this.
Oh yeah, there's a Taco Bell.
That was weird.
That was weird.
There's weird moments of levity where I'm like, I get it.
This so doesn't fit in this movie.
Be funny if you want, but
there's
it's more depressing than it was. That was like the saddest scene. When Patrick Stewart's like, you're such a disappointment. I was like, you don't need to talk. You don't just.
He's just like the saddest.
Just stop
in the scene, please.
But I like Patrick Stewart in it. At first, I thought they were gonna do something crazy with him because in the first scene, he's like freaking out. And I was like, oh, is he gonna be like this whole movie? And that's the only scene where he's like, because the rest of the movie, he's kind of like on his. He's like
in the casino scene.
And other than those two, when the casino scene. I thought he had done that on purpose to give Logan Wolverine time to get up there and help. But he just happened to be doing it.
I thought he did. He didn't?
No, he wasn't doing it. No.
That's kind of weak.
Yeah, I thought he was doing it on purpose.
That's
to get up there and help.
That's a pretty weak
reason.
Yeah.
But
that just sort of happened.
Yeah.
That's kind of weak.
But, and also, okay. When, going to this movie, I'm pretty sure everyone suspected that not Wolverine. Patrick Stewart was going to die, which I was expecting. However, when it did happen, I thought it was fake. I thought it was like a fake dream sequence. And when I
thought it was a dream sequence.
When I saw the other Wolverine, I was like, oh, it's definitely a dream. And then it turned out, no, that's the villain. That's the villain of
Donald Pierce.
That's the villain of the film, huh?
You leaned to me and you're like, Donald Pierce is going to roll
and
up.
Renick was like, oh my gosh.
I thought that'd be awesome. I thought that'd be so cool.
I was like,
Donald Pierce
was talking about...
Because that would tick me off.
No, just Donald Pierce in general. Like, he's going to capture him, I don't know, or kill him.
And then what ticked me off more than, like, he does that awesome monologue, and Donald Pierce would be like, nice to meet you, bye.
Yeah.
I've been like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But it turns out he got stabbed in the chest.
I was on edge the entire film because I thought all this crazy stuff was going to happen.
Yeah.
And really, none of it really happened. The whole center part dragged for me because it's like nothing crazy happens until the guy shows up, who we'll mention in a second. But yeah, no, I was on edge because it's like there's all these setups for like something crazy. Like, all of this.
When they run into the family with the little horsies.
Yeah, I was like, something crazy is going to happen.
I was on edge the entire dinner scene.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my gosh.
You see the trucks, and I'm like, wow. They're right outside, and then they're like, Wolverine, you got to go fix the pipes for the water. I'm like,
and then they did nothing.
Yeah, it did nothing, really. It was no point.
I was on edge for the dinner scene, though, because I was like, oh my god, someone's going to say something, and she's just going to go ballistic and kill this entire family.
Oh, I thought Professor X was going to go crazy.
Oh, did you? Oh, that would have been interesting, too. I just thought that family was going to die.
I was on edge for a
they
lot
did
of
die.
Well, I know that, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe that was their point, was
maybe
keep us on edge, but I didn't like that, because it's like you either commit or you don't commit, because I was like hurt. I leaned over to you, I was like, I'm in pain because of all the stress.
Yeah, it was very stressful, that middle part of the movie.
And then they, like,
half hour.
They just make another Wolverine the villain, and this is
bad choice.
That
was a bad choice. And that's not even a comic character. That was completely original.
Not good original.
They're probably like, Hugh Jackman asked for a pay cut.
So then
he was like, I want more money, so...
We just put him in there twice.
We casted him twice.
Yeah.
But... So he just fights another version of him the entire film.
Doesn't really even fight him. The guy kicks his ass because he's just better than him.
He's basically like...
He's just young Wolverine.
Yeah. And it's cool because at the end, when there's the end fight, he takes like a drug, and that makes him like young Wolverine again, and he's kicking ass like normal for
like 5 minutes.
For like 5 seconds. And then the dude's like, "Oh, you're running out of your green juice, huh?"
Yeah, Donald Pierce,
yeah,
my man.
And the Wolverine's like, "Oh shoot, yeah, I am."
Apple juice is running out, Beanie.
Yeah, it was just strange. That's probably the best way to put it. Is the film's like,
I like X-23.
She doesn't really talk. That's probably what they wanted.
The one point where she talks, everyone's like...
I would say, when we left the theater and we were walking home, I was like, they're going to want her to be like the new 11.
Yeah.
You know, like, this little girl is awesome.
Yeah.
But since she is Hispanic in real life, they haven't been able to put her on, like, the circuit. Like, I mean, they've milked those Stranger Things kids, like, to hell and back, you know. There isn't a talk show where they haven't appeared on, or... you haven't found a new talent that the 11 is able to do, because now she can rap.
She can pick her nose.
Yeah, she can do anything. So they're like, look, she's just like us. She's so cool. And I thought for sure they'd do that. And I'm kind of glad they cast a foreign girl, because I know they're going to put her in a movie sooner or later. She's going to be in a big movie like 11's fighting Godzilla. And
she is, but
I thought you were gonna say X-23's fighting Godzilla.
Jacob Tremblay is fighting.
I'd be down for that.
Jacob Tremblay is fighting Predator, so it's like that's not even a joke. They're both fighting those characters. So I bet X-23 is gonna fight. I don't know, Kong.
No, but yeah. Other than that,
she's good and she doesn't really talk. Her action. She's only got like one action scene.
She's like killing people the whole movie.
I thought it was very weird.
In the desert in the one scene. She doesn't kill X-24. She's handcuffed that entire battle.
Yeah.
And then the final part, she doesn't really do much except for run. She does like one couple of cool moves with Wolverine.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, don't do anything cool until I tell you to. Let me just get my ass kicked for now.
Yeah, that was about action.
I have to die, so you can't help me.
You got killed by a tree.
Don't use that gun with the automatic bullet till I'm dead. Till I'm good and stabbed and dead.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, what he said, what'd you say? He gets killed by a tree?
Yeah, he gets killed by a splinter.
Yep.
So does Donald Pierce. He's killed by Plant.
Oh, yeah. I was like, no, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was a weird death.
Really brutal,
that
too.
That entire scene was
kind of like,
weird.
man, there's a reason why we're killing off all the mutants, because they're horrible and killing, and they're mean, and they're bad.
I thought
and
there
they're
was,
mean.
Speaking of X-23, I thought the visual of a girl getting stabbed by a harpoon gun was a little weird.
This is the
first in the leg? Yeah, that was
yeah.
She pulls it out and she just like...
I thought it was a bit of a weird thing. Like, I looked at it and I'm like, this
is brutal.
This is a little girl, and this is a little weird to watch, but I think I'm okay with it. I don't know, though.
Who was it? There was somebody, it was at the end with, Donald Pierce. Yeah, no, I don't know. The film's really brutal.
You didn't mind.
Some of the kids' powers are, like, very generic.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention,
There's that one kid that looks like a lizard.
This was the first, like, real X-Men film, I don't want to say, like, that killed, but, like, when the good guys killed, like, the main villain, you know?
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, like... I'm not gonna count Deadpool because I mean it's a Deadpool film. It's kind of too separated. But like X-Men 1, the Senator, even though he does die, it's not like by their hand. They don't like stab him or anything. They try to turn him into a mutant, and he just kind of turns into water because some people can't. It's a genome. Mm-hmm. X2 Stryker does die, and it is pretty brutal. But it's not like no one stabs him or anything. Wolverine just chains him up, which is kind of sad and like really dark. But it's like. No one's like getting brutally murdered, where it's like we watch a bunch of little kids brutally murder a guy.
Also, kids get brutally murdered.
Who?
Actually,
no kids.
You don't see it on screen.
Oh, I thought like
no, they don't kill any of the kids because they don't want to. They want to keep them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they're our prize racing horses.
I think I was just talking about she got shot.
Get him, boy!
I thought we were just talking about
get him, boy!
Get him, boy!
She still got shot.
Get up, boy!
Django Unchained.
She still got shot with a harpoon gun. And I can't believe it.
Yeah. She also has adamantium, which means I guess she's going to get poisoned in a couple hundred years and die through the same brutal death as Wolverine.
Maybe she'll die via Splinter.
We can only hope.
She's probably going to drop a tree on herself to go out the way of her father.
Like 100 years from now, we'll get a film called Laura.
Oh, they've already talked about that. They're planning it.
Yep.
She'll probably show up in the new X-Men film that's supposedly filming in a month.
Supernova?
That's what it's called?
Is that the one?
No, the new X-Men film that's filming in like a month.
Is it
I thought it was called
New Mutants? New Mutants, yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to film it. Supposedly it's got James McAvoy.
Oh yeah, McAvoy's there.
Definitely doesn't have Jennifer Lawrence, even though she's the one teaching them at the school at the end of X-Men Apocalypse.
They don't
have Michael Fassbender because...
He's like, he's like, guys, sorry, I'm busy doing the next...
Also, it's going to be set in the 90s and Quicksilver's still going to be 14.
Yep.
Oh.
No, he was 17. And then he was technically 27 in Apocalypse, even though he looks the same.
I love that.
Will be 37.
I love that. I love that trait.
Just recast him.
Of how every 10 years it's a different X-Men movie in the decades. I thought that was amazing.
I mean, it's cool, but it can't work.
It worked for Days of Futures Past.
It doesn't work for acting because people
did not work
age
for
that
the 80s.
fast.
Didn't work for the 80s. That was when it started. Like, they didn't look like anything had changed, even though in technically 10 years they had to turn into not Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that jump was harsh.
Yeah, that's the problem. But yeah, no, it was. Logan's good though. Back to Logan.
We're talking about X-Men. So.
There's just not really a lot of action. I think at the film, it was good.
The brutal action that there is there, it's fun
good
to watch, but
yeah,
it's also not really the highlight of the movie. The action.
I will say not a lot of nothing really like crazy and technical when it comes to anything.
I mean, if anything, I'll give it one thing. It doesn't,
it feels. I don't want to say
CGI that much.
I don't want to say it doesn't. I was gonna say it feels real, but it doesn't feel real. I'd say it feels, like tired. Like nothing's crazy.
That was on purpose because Logan is tired.
Like when he tries to drive through the fence and it doesn't even go down. Stops him. It just feels like
everything is just so worn down and exhausted in this movie.
Exhausted.
The cars.
Perfect words. Exhausted, which I think is good. And
it's a really good tone for the movie.
Yeah. It's nothing. It's not a film I want to see again.
It's just upsetting because
I have to see it again on Saturday, and I'm not looking.
Why?
I'm going with Dad and my brother.
Okay. I thought you were gonna go with.
Bridget.
No.
How is Bridget?
You guys still together?
No.
How'd that end up? Let's M0V.log relationship update.
It was like 3 months ago we stopped talking.
Oh, you ghosted her or she ghosted you?
What?
You took her to La La Land and she never replied?
No, we went on,
Did you go to La La Land with that one?
Yeah,
he took her to Triple X and she said, why?
She's like, I'm all the way down.
That's a good one.
No, what was the last thing we did? We went to a concert in...
You took her to Breaking Benjamin and she said, thanks.
Is that where?
You bought her a sleeveless shirt.
No, we went to Breaking Benjamin and then like...
Oh, for real?
Yes!
I told you!
I think I don't remember.
Maybe you did tell us. I think you did.
No, so that happened, then I didn't hear from her for like 2 days and was like, hey, so like, is this a real thing or what's going on? She's like, I'm leaving. And I'm like, okay.
I have a boyfriend.
No.
We've been together this entire time.
No. That didn't happen.
Okay. You saw on the news that she killed herself.
I haven't seen that, no.
No, not yet? Okay.
I wasn't going to say that. But...
Saw on the news for him was really Casey Anthony.
She got the one that got away.
Good one. That's a good one. That's a good movie tagline for a Casey Anthony biopic. The one that got away.
Got him.
When's that movie coming? The Casey Anthony movie that'll eventually be made?
Tonight.
Soon, actually. They're waiting until they can get X-23 to grow up because she kind of looks like her. Fair enough.
But,
No,
Yeah, I had really big hopes for this film. I don't know why, like I said, but I expected it to be, like, really, really good.
This is the first ever Dark Knight 2.
Dark Knight 2 as well.
It's like the Dark Souls of movies. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, like how people compare Dark Souls to everything now.
Oh, do they?
Oh, do they?
Yeah. It's like the Dark Souls of shooters.
I was gonna say it's like of shooters.
Yeah.
What?
Like just people are saying that. Like if it's a hard game, they'll just call it the Dark Souls.
Oh, okay. No, I was comparing it a lot to Last of Us the entire time.
That's what everyone was like, oh, it's like Last of Us.
It's very good.
Because it's a weird post-apocalyptic film with an old man and a little girl.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is now going to happen every time there's anything like Last of Us-y. Which is a shame, but Last of Us is so good that...
Well, it's a tribute to Last of Us, so I'll take it, because I love that game.
So at the end of this film, Logan dies.
Yep.
Which was, I thought it was sad, but
everyone knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, because it's like... He just gets like, stabbed with this tree.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, he got stabbed with a tree, he died.
People laughed in our film a lot.
Oh, really?
After Patrick Stewart died, people laughed.
Why?
At the really depressing scene where he's like smashing the car because he's so sad and frustrated.
Yeah, people laughed at that scene. I'm like, this man is just broken right now.
Yeah, it's not a funny scene.
It's not a funny scene. It's like sad.
I call it the Deadpool effect. It's called when you put a Deadpool trailer as a part of your actual runtime.
People think it's supposed to be funny.
People think that scenes are supposed to be funny because they laughed earlier.
No, people were laughing at that scene. I'm like, this is the saddest scene in the movie.
No.
This guy just can't take it anymore.
Fox, I know you watch your stuff because you gave us a copyright strike. Fox, listen to me here, my friend. Please learn from your mistake and now
kill yourself.
Don't put Deadpool trailers in front of movies that are
Oh yeah, don't do that, please. That was
Please
weird.
don't have Deadpool fucking Alien before Alien Covenant, because I know you're gonna want to. I know
Don't have Deadpool versus.
I know you've already got. I know you've already got the guys from John Wick already filming it, and Ridley Scott is overseeing it. Ridley Scott's gonna appear in it. Please don't, though. I know you want to. But yeah.
But yeah.
Film's good, but not amazing. Just
What do you
passable.
think of the actual like very end of the film where she was like, it's a cross, but it's an X?
I was like,
Wow.
get it.
I've already seen this with every single other. I'm a huge X-Men fan,
Me
so
too.
it's like
Oh yeah.
every.
I
X-Men
mean,
film
when she did that, I was like, my heart was like, oh, he's dead. And then the film ended, and I was like, all right, back.
I can't wait till someone.
I was expecting one scene
someone's
after
on the
that.
grave.
What?
Sees a weird metal skeleton. No,
They dig it up and they're just claws.
Yeah, I would have preferred to see Eden, because now I don't even know if it's a real place.
I was expecting a scene after that, after the burial, of just like them actually getting there.
Yeah.
Just to fill us with something good at the very end.
Like
instead
some
of just-
closure. Like, did they actually get there?
Yeah,
or what
it
happened?
was-
It might not even exist.
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing.
I was reading online. People were like, "Hey, what if it just they got to the very end and it was just Magneto there?" And I'm like, that would have been kind of interesting.
Would have preferred to see Magneto. I mean,
I would have preferred
Yeah, he
at least.
wasn't in this movie.
I would have preferred at least. When he wasn't in it, I was kind of disappointed. But looking back this morning, I would have liked it if they were at least like, if what's his name went like, oh, Eric,
Yeah, they
something. I don't
well,
know.
because he's not mentioned in the Days of Future Past end credits. Every X-Men besides Magneto and Mystique are mentioned in that, so we have no idea what happened to them. Mystique, I could care less.
Yeah.
But Magneto, hey, is he alive? Is he dead? Is he still a villain? Like, what happened?
What's going on? What
I guess
happened?
this isn't a Days of Future Past timeline, so it's like it doesn't really matter. But
Would prefer
well,
something.
actually, you know what? Since it is following the Last Stand timeline, I guess he just didn't have powers, but he kind of did. So maybe he just kind of lived his life as an old man in a park
as an old man, Eric.
playing chess.
I would have liked to see the movie Eric.
Right. I want to see the movie. Patrick
Charles.
Stewart. I want to see
Charles.
I want to see Charles, and I also want to see Raven,
Raven. Ah, damn
and I want to see what's
Hank.
Beast Boy.
Hank. Beast Boy. Yeah, and I also want to see
Cyborg.
Pietro.
Oh wait, that's a real movie.
I would watch that.
Everyone would see that.
Yeah, exactly. What's the name of the
Wade.
dude who dies?
Wait.
Oh, I bet that's gonna be a poster.
That is that. Yeah, for sure. Like his hand. Like
And it's gonna
something.
say
stupid.
Wade. Everyone could be like, this
This
turning the
is
superhero genre
Deadpool.
on its head. No one saw this coming.
No one knows what Deadpool's gonna do next. Okay, guys.
I heard there's a very funny scene that's like Sausage Party, but Deadpool.
He's animated and he's a hot dog.
He
It's
actually fucks
crazy.
another sausage.
There's a movie. Have you seen this? That is Robin Hood, but Deadpool. And by Robin Hood, we mean the animated one with animals, but Deadpool.
But Deadpool's in it.
Yeah.
Deadpool steals from the poor and gives to the rich because he's edgy.
Yes. And Deadpool only drinks Budweiser. The drink
What?
for Deadpool. Well, don't you remember Mike's Hard Lemonade sponsored the movie?
The first Deadpool
So
film.
No, I don't remember that.
in the bar, in all the bar scenes, all they have stocked is Mike's Hard
Oh,
Lemonade.
I didn't
And
realize.
they didn't
that.
use it as a joke or anything. They're just like, we have to have only Mike's Hard Lemonade at our bar. The official drink of Deadpool.
Oh, I don't remember that.
This drink will make you better than sex. And it makes 64 if you starts fucking the can.
That happened in the
In
lead
the
scene.
Logan too, and he does it. He says, "I'm gonna drink the official drink of Deadpool." Laura, you want a sip? And she goes, "Dios míos."
There's that one part where he tries to put out his hand blades, and it doesn't go out all the way, so he has to pull it out.
That was a
Yeah,
kinda,
I was like, oh.
that was a cool scene.
I had that problem too. I did a drug for it.
Cialis.
That's a Deadpool joke. He's gonna make that joke. He's like, he can't even get the claw out. There's a drug for that. I already am just waiting for. I know.
He's gonna
Wait,
say.
well,
Do
I
you
see.
think they're gonna
I know, right.
ruin Logan by just making a bunch of jokes about it? in
Yes.
Deadpool 2? Oh,
Yeah.
Well, don't you remember Deadpool 1 where he talks about Hugh Jackman like crazy?
that's true.
Oh, he's gonna cash in on that all the time. Oh yeah, and that's just the world we live in.
Yep.
But
I don't like connected universes anymore.
no one does.
Remember when?
They're not good.
Because films don't exist anymore. It's just setups.
Yeah, remember Spider-Man, the original trilogy?
They were
Oh
good.
my
As
God.
bad as the third one was.
You know what I'm excited
It's
about?
Contained on its own.
Yeah.
What?
I can't wait for the end of Infinity
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Infinity War Part 2. when at the after credits it's gonna be a new villain, and we're gonna have to watch a new villain.
Another 12 films leading up to that villain.
Imagine
another 22 films leading up to that.
Imagine if it's Bloody Galactus, and then
it's gonna be.
No, they don't have the rights yet.
Fox.
Who's the one that they have? Oh wait, M0V.log. That's something about.
Well, he's supposedly in the movie.
In what, Infinity War?
Peter
Dink.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Which would be cool, but yeah, they can't use M0V.log.
Yeah.
What would they use, like Peter Dink's body and just Photoshop a really big head?
He's in it and no one knows who he is. Oh, and Michael Rooker's in it too, by the way. So I guess he doesn't die in Guardians.
Great.
That's the great thing about movies that have connected universes. When you announce the casting before their films come out, that way I know no stakes happen because I know they all live.
Imagine they kill. Oh wait, no, she's in Infinity War.
Yeah, Mantis.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she was the first one they announced. They're like, Mantis is making a return. Like, is Star-Lord making a return? We go, we don't know. Is
Mantis everyone cares about Mantis.
Does Mantis just fly to Earth and she's like, I don't even know how I got here? What if Hugh Jackman showed up?
He could.
He won't. He said, I need my jacket.
Need my jacket?
Yeah, like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah. Oh man, imagine that happened.
What?
Would have bursted Marvel's bubble.
Wolverine was gonna be in the first Spider-Man film.
The only reason he didn't is because he didn't have his jacket on set.
They didn't have his jacket on set.
He was like, I don't need to do this.
Wow.
He wasn't even that big of a star by then,
That would have been crazy.
So it would have been crazy. Same thing with Ben Affleck, but they didn't have his entire costume. They threw it in the fires.
What they should do with the entire DC cinematic universe.
Whoa, shots fired, baby.
I definitely bet now at the success of both of these films that DC is already working on a Lobo.
Oh man, kill yourself, DC.
With an R-rated Lobo. Or they're going to do the big thing, make the Batman hard R.
Oh, hard R, Batman.
Do you guys want to see Batgirl's breasts? It's going to happen.
Final thoughts?
Just out of 10, do you want to go?
Yeah, final thoughts. Renick, final thoughts.
That's like a good 7 out of 10. I was entertained, but I don't want to come back to it ever again.
Ever.
It was just too depressing. Like, I don't know.
This is one of those movies I think that you just kind of watch once and you don't watch for another like.
It was good. It was. I'm gonna compare it to Batman vs Superman. It's better than Batman vs Superman. But the same thing. It's like that film's super depressing. I don't want to see that. You know. I get why it is, but I could have at least gone with a little bit of happiness.
Yeah.
There is no happiness in this film. There's not like a single moment where it's like.
Yes. Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, you know.
There's the dinner scene where they're like smiling at each other, and it's like
but that's about followed by the most.
Yeah, but then it's
exactly.
You're stressed the entire time, so you can't enjoy it.
Also, it ends with like a super sad scene. That ending scene where the guy comes in with the shotgun.
It's so sad.
That's rough.
Yeah. It's really rough. Because he
I don't even want to. Oh, this is gonna be depressed.
He tries to shoot him, but it's out of gun.
Why would he shoot him though?
Because like that's the reason his family dies, because he was there. Well, he probably doesn't know that.
His family, they weren't going to die because X-24 didn't kill Logan. He didn't even try to attack him. The only reason, don't you remember? There's that shot where Logan's going up the stairs.
Yeah.
Guy's down on the ground.
Yeah.
And they look at each other, and then he walks away.
Yeah. So I guess X-24 wasn't going to kill him, but they got in the way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if those black people minded their business and stayed in their rooms and listened to their iPhone, then they would have been fine.
It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then she just stole the iPhone anyway. So.
Yeah, thank you.
She has to borrow it, and the kid died, so I guess she felt, I might as well just keep this.
Your will would have forgiven it to me anyway, probably, hopefully. Yeah. But, I don't know, there's a lot of weird stuff in the film. I did wish it was explained. The final thing I wish they did explain was what I wish it would have... I don't need a flashback, but it would have been nice to have a flashback to what happened with Professor X.
Yeah.
Because he freaks out like multiple times, but no one dies, you know? People just...
Didn't they say someone died in the casino scene?
There's the thing on the news where they're like, oh, over 400 people were injured. And I was like, oh my God.
I thought it said there were 27 deaths on that scene. Or maybe I'm thinking of the real life news.
But I mean, he did it multiple times and no one died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would have preferred...
Well, I also didn't know how many people it affected.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess maybe it's a certain vicinity.
But it would have been nice to have a flashback of X Mansion maybe collapsing.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that way you could have gotten James Marsden, who's doing nothing besides Westworld. Famke Janssen is doing nothing. And maybe even Magneto, because maybe they were friends.
Yeah. And
you could have seen like something. And that would have been a good way to bring back these actors who are great side characters.
Imagine the whole movie he's lugging around Charles and Eric.
Air can walk.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And I mean, in this universe, he doesn't have powers, so maybe it would have been nice to like to have it. It would have been nice to open with that, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of opening with a stupid out of place Deadpool, have a nice happy thing. He freaks out. A bunch of X-Men die. It ends with like Hugh Jackman maybe holding Patrick Stewart, like, what did you do, Charles? A bunch of kids are dead, and you're like, wow, this is dark.
Man,
then
I would love that instead of Deadpool.
Well, then it cuts to the and then it can cut to Hugh waking up in the car, and then you're like, oh, time's passed, life sucks, and then it makes sense for him to be in the water tower.
Yeah.
Well, that was my point on why it's 7 out of 10. You guys can go over yours. I'm sorry.
Andre?
I'm gonna say 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I would rate it higher if I didn't kind of despise the antagonist of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weak.
Very weak. I was just like, everything else in this film kind of had a very... I know you want to say something. Just give me one second.
I got a comedy bit coming up.
Give a bit.
I like, because everyone else in the film just feels a lot more real than that villain. That villain is the most one-dimensional, I'm a bad guy character I have ever seen.
What do you think? Who do you think the villain is?
Donald.
You think it's Donald?
I feel like it's Donald.
I feel like it's the weird doctor guy.
Yeah,
Because he's kind of pulling the
Yeah,
strings.
but he's not like bad in the movie. He's just like, no.
They pull him out of nowhere.
He is,
yes.
but
they pull him out of
he's
nowhere.
not like directly evil. Also, he's barely in a movie.
Yeah, but he comes in and sidelines Donald.
Yeah.
He's the reason Donald's sidelined at the end.
Yeah, I guess.
And then, I don't think any of us think it's X-24, but they kind of make him feel...
Yeah, the entire...
Well, because he can't fight the Doctor.
I know. But he could have at least fought Donald, maybe. He didn't have a healing factor.
Yeah.
Donald has a gun.
Yeah.
But no,
he also has a robot arm, too.
Yeah.
The entire...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love robot arms in films.
I love robot arms, but the one part where he's in the hospital room and he puts his robot arm back on.
That was cool.
CG was rough.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
He's like holding the card and it's like very blatant.
Yeah.
The card scene was rough.
Wolverine had a horrible Deadpool opening. I'm Donald Trump. You see this in my comedy.
Oh my god.
Wolverine had a horrible Deadpool opening and had a weak villain. Sad! Exclamation point. Get it?
That's Twitter.
Political commentary. It's me, Donald Trump. Get it? Yeah. Don't you remember when Donald Trump once tweeted?
In both of these films, the Hispanic is trying to kill the orange man named Donald.
Yeah.
Both of these films, like,
I'm boycotting this film.
Yeah,
I'm boycotting this film. Why do movies have to keep on doing commentary against Donald Trump? Remember when people said that was about Rogue One?
And that's
Rogue One is anti-Trump, and then a bunch of people.
Oh, did people say that?
Yeah, and then a bunch of people boycotted Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who cares?
And how this one is anti-Trump because of the Mexican border, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, who cares?
American people care. But yeah, that was my comedy bit. I did a classic Donald Trump.
Classic Donald Trump.
Yeah. I apologize to our Muslim audience who will not be able to be in America to watch this video because of the Muslim ban.
Yep. It's a shame.
We wish you could be here. We really
Hasta.
I hated the opposing force, but what do you have to say, Chris?
I'm gonna have to agree on that end. I thought the villain was weak, unfortunately. When I was one of the most exciting aspects of the film for me.
Yeah, everyone was excited for him. He's a great actor too.
Yeah, he is.
You'll look forward to him though in Predator. He's in a bunch of stuff actually. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he's actually. It's not about actually.
Anytime.
It's not about the alien predator. He's actually just a sexual predator.
Yeah. That was a good one.
And Laura Kinney, it's about him and hunting her.
But I think overall I'll probably give it 2 Wolverine claws out of 3.
That's like a 6.
That's like Freddy Krueger. That ain't Wolverine. That's Freddy Krueger. That's our Transformers quote of the day, everybody. That's another bit we have coming up. Transformers quotes.
I ate the whole plate.
The final thing, our final bit, is Justin Mendoza texted us mid thing.
Did he?
Yes,
Oh, did he?
I noticed that. No one else did. So I've been saving this bit. So let me recite it. I'm at work. And if that does not sum up Logan, I don't know what does.
I don't know what does, baby.
The end.
That was it. Logan.